When scrolling through Marketplace, Gumtree, Craigslist, or your site of choice, take your time. There's no point in buying the first thing you see. Even if you find something awesome straight away, save it and come back to it later. There are a lot of bikes out there, and that means there are a lot of good deals, a lot of okay buys, and some outright lemons. Check out the photos, look for things that are within your skill set to fix or can improve upon. Read the description thoroughly to see what's wrong and what's right with it. Don't be afraid to ask questions of the seller. Just be prepared that they may not know, or in some rare cases, they don't want you to know. It's my firm opinion that if you're listing something on a secondhand website, then you should be open to reasonable offers. Don't be afraid to haggle, even if it is just asking $10 less than what's listed. This is a fine line to tread, of course, and you only get better at it with practice. Offer too low and you risk offending the seller, or they'll just ignore you completely. Search around and see if there are other similar bikes so you can get an idea of what they should be worth and go from there. Occasionally I'll like a bike and think what it's listed for is a fair price, so I don't bother haggling. Usually this is when it's a bike which could be popular, and due to the good price it will sell quickly. Be prepared that sometimes you'll haggle and get a great deal, and sometimes someone else will offer more and you won't get it. It's all part of it. You win some, you lose some. So you found your bike, great! Time to go get it. This is where it's more than fine for you to politely ask if you can give it a look over first before any money changes hands. If it's as described and you're happy, then hand over the cash and get it home. If it's not what was listed or there's something wrong with it, then speak up. Just don't be one of those dodgy people that make stuff up to reduce the price at the last second. I can spot them a mile away these days, and I don't enjoy those interactions one bit. So the bike's at home now and you can stare at it. Having a very thorough look beforehand is the most important step there is. Go through everything and make a list. Write down what's wrong with it, what needs fixing, and what needs replacing. On more than one occasion, I've been guilty of falling in love with a bike and getting stuck into the build, only to find that I've bought something that needs way more work than it's worth, both in time and money. Step 4 is your last safe point, to decide whether you're good to go ahead or whether you cut your losses and move on to the next one. To me, each failure is only a lesson, and as long as you learn from it, then there's no real harm done. If you did buy a lemon or something that's a bit out of your skill set, then consider selling it to recoup some of your money or keeping it to use as parts later. Just remember, if you sell it, then be honest about it and any shortfalls it may have. Don't get a reputation of being dodgy. So why did I choose this particular bike for this particular series? Well, for me personally, I love the way it looks. I just think it's cool. I love the old school graphics and the pink color, purple color. It's also got some things we can improve upon, like that's the standard saddle. I think it looks terrible. So that's gonna go, we'll change that. I don't hate the yellow, but they're manky, so they're gonna get upgraded. And yeah, the price was right, so works for me. For you guys though, someone that's never worked on a bike before, you can't get much simpler than a single speed, so it takes away having to worry about adjusting gears, worrying about the cassette, derailleurs, shifters. So for me, it's just a great starting point where you're taking away that complexity and you can just worry about the basics. Even if you strip this thing completely without any prior knowledge, you'd have a pretty good chance of getting it back together. So in my opinion, a great place to start. They can also be picked up pretty cheap because people realize they're kind of annoying to ride if you're in a hilly area, stuff like that, without having the gears. They prefer to go to a geared bike. So you can get them for a good price and just a great starting point, I think. So I hope that helps you decide where you're going to go for your first bike. Best of luck with it. Next video in the series, we'll be looking at actually just giving this thing a touch up and making it look pretty again. So I hope you can join me for that one. For now though, thank you so much for watching and we'll see you next time.